tomorrow the class it can be how to do puja because we need to train everybody know how to do puja.
Alright.
How to. You can do that. Abhinav. In class. You can take a notes, basic.
Okay. So I'll be around you class tomorrow, that's the subject.
Yeah.
Good. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Chandra Bhagava Girivarari Gopi Chandra Bhagava Girivarari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Chandra Bhagava Girivarari Yashodanandana Prajajana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so we're reading today from Srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 21, Text 18. The chapter is called The Dynasty of Bharata. Tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayana tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayanaha tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayanaha tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavam yogina sarve narayana parayanaha tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayanaha tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayanaha tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayanaha tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yogina sarve narayana parayanaha. Word for word. Tat prasanga anubhavena. Because of associating with King Rantidev when talking with him about Bhakti Yoga. Ranti Deva Univartinaha. The followers of King Rantidev, that is, his servants, his family members, his friends, and others. Abhavan became Yoginaha, first-class mystic yogis, or bhakti yogis. Sarve, all of them. Narayana Prayanaha, devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana. Translation. All those who followed the principles of King Rantidev were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees, attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana. Thus they all became the best of yogis. Repeat after me. All those who followed the principles of King Rantidev were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees, attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana. Thus they all became the best of yogis. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The best yogis or mystics are the devotees, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 47. Yoginam api sarvesyam madkaten antaratmana Shadavan vajate yoman sameyuktattamo mataha. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshiping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. End quote. The best yogi is he who constantly thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of his heart. Because Rantidev was the king, the chief executive in the state, all the residents of the state became devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, by the king's transcendental association. This is the influence of a pure devotee. If there is one pure devotee, his association can create hundreds and thousands of pure devotees. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is meritorious in proportion to the number of devotees he has created. A Vaishnava becomes superior not simply by jugglery of words, but by the number of devotees he has created for the Lord. Here the word Ranti Deva Nivartinaha indicates that Rantidev's officers, friends, relatives, and subjects all became first-class Vaishnavas by his association. In other words, Rantidev is confirmed herein to be a first-class devotee or Mahabhagavat. Mahat Sevan Dwaram Ahur Vimukteha. One should render service to such Mahatmas, for then one will automatically achieve the goal of liberation. Srila Narottama Das Thakur has also said, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Payeche Keva. One cannot be liberated by his own effort, but if one becomes subordinate to a pure Vaishnava, the door to liberation is open. Oh my God, it's Amaranta Shakya Chakshurun Militam Hena Tasmai Shri Gurave. So there are different kinds of yoga, different stages of yoga, actually. Just like in the Ashtanga yoga system, Satya Yoga, that yoga system, well, Ashtanga means eightfold. So there were different levels from the very beginning up to the topmost level, supposed to say, topmost rung of the yoga ladder. Words. Which was Bhakti Yoga. So if one is practicing yoga, in the beginning, in that age, it's loose. Because in that age, you practice yoga with very, very, very difficult austerities just to help you control the mind and just to help you to detach so that you gradually elevate yourself to the point when you become very fixed in consciousness. Then you started the process of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga was the topmost level that you engage in. But of course, in this age, it's simply not possible to perform that yoga system. It's not possible. It took too many thousands of years. Nobody lives that long. Nobody can even sit still and listen and control the mind for more than a second. What to speak of day in and day out for thousands of years, actually. It's just not possible. So Lord Chaitanya, he gave a simple process. He gave a process because every age, the method for self-realization is according to what the people in general can follow. So in Satya Yuga, people in general could easily practice the Eightfold Yoga system. But in Kali Yuga, it's not possible to do that. So Kali Yuga, because we're very, very fallen, Lord Chaitanya gave us a process which was practical for us. And of course, that process is the Sankirtan Yajna, chanting the holy names of the Lord, which everyone can take part in. Everyone can take part. And unlike any of the previous ages, in age of Kali, we actually engage in devotional service from the beginning. We engage in Bhakti Yoga from the beginning. It's not like you had to spend thousands of years just trying to control your senses so you could start to engage in devotional service, Bhakti Yoga at the end, and then you put everything else aside, forget about what you're doing, just to engage in devotional service. That was, and in Kali Yuga, that's not even practical. So in the Kali Yuga, the process is and after Lord Chaitanya, that process is changed, and that process is that it's called sadhana bhakti, which means from the very beginning, after we get a little association of devotees and we learn something about Krishna consciousness, from that very beginning, we're already engaged in devotional service. Our service may not be perfect, but we are engaged on the path of devotional service, and that's very significant. That's very significant because in this process, um, the path is. Narottama Das Thakur, he sings in one song. He describes it as the process as Kevala Ananda Kanda, which means the process that Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda gave is simply joyful. We were sitting down just trying to struggle with our mind and control our mind for thousands of years, it probably wouldn't be very joyful, and it'd be very nobody could do it even if we could live that long. But in the path of Krishna consciousness under Lord Chaitanya, the actual activities that are purifying us are pleasing. We chant the Hare Krishna mantra and other nice songs for Krishna. These are actually pleasing to do, to chant, to sing, and pleasing to hear. We see the deities every day. At least if you come to a temple, or if you have deities in your home, you see the deities and can serve the deities. That's also very pleasing to see Krishna and dress Krishna and offer arti to Lord Krishna. All these things are they're nice to do. They give pleasure. So the process itself is giving pleasure, and then of course upon becoming fully Krishna conscious, after probably maybe years of practice, but after becoming fully Krishna conscious, it's not that we become fully Krishna conscious and then we reject everything, throw out everything, and start with something new. No, we continue with what we're doing. We continue with the path of Krishna consciousness. So, because if we were trying to follow some heavy austerities just so we could engage in devotional service, nobody would do it. And upon becoming Krishna conscious and having developed a strong taste for devotional service in so many ways, the different varieties of devotional service, and we don't have to reject all that. We don't reject it. We just continue on with what we're doing. Just like the devotees sometimes are, every day some devotees are, say, for example, making flower garlands. We make flower garlands for Lord Krishna. So of course that's it's a pleasing activity. Sitting down, you're arranging the flowers and stringing up the garlands, and then of course the next day we put on the deities and you see the beautiful garlands like that. But even in the spiritual world, especially in Krishna's pastimes, Krishna has to offer so many garlands. We offer once in the morning. We offer flower garlands once in the morning. Krishna can wear all day. But Krishna is one of his names is, what is it? Vanamali. Vanamali. Vanamali means he's always covered with forest flowers. He's always has so many flowers here and there in Vrindavan. So garlands and flowers here and there, and puts it in his hair and so on like that. So Krishna is, and of course he's not just wearing one garland in the morning and keeping it all day, every day. So many the gopis, and even sometimes the cowherd boys, they'll make flower garlands for Krishna. They pick up flowers here and there, string them up, and when they're out in the field herding the cows and the calves, then the Krishna will they'll make a garland for Krishna sometimes, so that we can even become attached to a service like that here, and have an opportunity to continue that attachment there. Or same thing with cooking. Krishna doesn't need to eat anything. It's not like us. We have to. If we don't eat, then this body dies. Or we give up this body. The body doesn't die exactly, but the soul leaves the body. if we stop eating. Krishna doesn't need to eat, but in the spiritual world, eating is just pleasurable. There's no bad effects, and and eating is not required either. But of course, Krishna likes to enjoy eating. So here we every day we offer Krishna something to eat. Some of our offerings right now are small and simple because we're maybe lacking devotees or so on. But you can imagine if Krishna is, we have a full schedule, and everything is of the standard as it could be and was at one time, then the 6 or 7 times a day, not 6 or 7 hours, 6 or 7 times a day, we were offering so many meals for Krishna. So, and Krishna eats like that in the spiritual world. He's Mother Yashoda, she wakes him up in the morning. She wakes him up in the morning. Of course, Krishna's been out actually all night playing, but nobody knows that except for Krishna and the gopis. So Krishna, he's acting like he's really tired there, and Mother Yashoda's like, Krishna, wake up! What's wrong? Are you sick? You're not. Why are you not getting up? And then she tries to inspire him to get up. So she brings him a plate with so many products from the cows: milk, yogurt, different sweets, ghee, anything. Krishna, this is for you. And Krishna. So that's why Krishna eats. He eats early in the morning. He's getting up at 4 o'clock about in the morning because in the cowherd community you go out there and you start milking the cows early, so he's got to be there because he also plays that part. So Krishna gets up very. Mother Yashoda wakes him up and inspires him to get up. So he goes, here, I just brought you some milk, a nice plate with milk and sandish and rasgullas and sweet rice and butter and all these things. And Krishna, of course, he's normally we get up and the first thing we do probably is you get up in the morning. First thing you do is you run to the bathroom, brush your teeth, shower like that. But Krishna he's still in bed, and Krishna and Mother Yashoda brings him this all these sweets and things to inspire him to get up. So that's why Mongol Artik is a very special time. Mongol Artik is we are seeing Krishna. He just woke up. Krishna just woke up. He hasn't been dressed. We see him in Mongol Artik. He's wearing his. We call him this kind. We call him pajamas, but I think in the India, what do they say? The morning outfit or night outfit. But he wakes up to he wakes up, give him some milk sweets and milk sweets to enjoy, and then he gives us his audience. We come to see Krishna at this very, very special time, and of course, Mangala Artik. Mangala means auspicious. Mangala means auspicious. So it's a very special time. In fact, we were just reading. What were we reading? I think it was we were reading the translations to the Gurvajnik prayers, the Mongol Artik song, and then after that there was another verse or a statement there about how it's simply by coming to Mongol Artik every day regularly, then we can go back home, back to Godhead. So it's a very special time. So Krishna, he enjoys like that. And of course in Krishna's pastimes, he has so many servants who do so many different kinds of activities for him. Um, so all these activities we are here, we are practicing. We are practicing garlands, we're practicing cooking, we're practicing sewing outfits for Krishna, right? We're practicing. We put on festivals. Mother Yashoda used to, Nanda Maharaj used to put on so many festivals. And of course, Krishna and Vrindavan, Krishna is the center of everything. It's like that. So this is so anyway. We're talking about King Ranti Dev. So King Ranti Dev, he's because he was the king, of course, and so and as the king, as the leader, at least in a Vedic society, the people in general really looked up to the king. In modern times, our leaders are not like King Ranti Dev. But in those times, the king, he saw all the people in his kingdom is just like sons and daughters. He was uh, very much cared about them, and very much cared about giving them all direction for becoming Krishna conscious. So Maharaj Ranti Dev, by his association, by his seeing how he acted and how he spoke and how he taught others, then everyone who actually had a lot of respect and love for him, they followed the same path and became devotees of Krishna, pure devotees of Krishna. You cannot see this in modern times, but this was the situation at the time of King Ranti Dev. And by the association of a pure devotee, then so many others will become devotees. In fact, that's the actual criteria. How great is um, someone a great devotee? Great devotee means that they are making so many others into devotees who become great devotees. So Srila Prabhupada obviously is such a great pure devotee of the Lord because he came and many difficult circumstances, by his association, by his preaching, his pure preaching, and his pure association, and what has happened, so many others have become taken to the path of pure devotional service. Of course, not everyone at any one moment is a Paramahansa kind of devotee of Krishna, the topmost pure devotee. But we've been taught and are practically being engaged in the path of pure devotional service. Because pure devotional service doesn't necessarily mean that you're already 100% pure and liberated, but you're convinced of the path, and you're on the path, and you're convinced of the path. Anyavilasita shunyam jnana karma janavitam anakulyena krishnana shilanam bhaktir uttama. Rupa Goswami defines pure devotional service in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Pure devotional service means that that you're engaged in devotional service. It means service that the Lord Krishna Lord Krishna wants you to engage in, not just any whimsical thing we want to do and call it devotional service. But you're engaged in devotional service that is pleasing Lord Krishna, and at the same time you are not aspiring for some future material benefit, like okay, I'll do like sometimes people have an altar at their home. Okay, here's Krishna, here's Radha, but here's also Lord Shiva, and here's Lord Indra, and here's Lord Brahma, and here's and they're saying, okay, well, I kind of like Krishna, but I'd really like to enjoy the heavenly planets, so maybe I can worship Lord Indra or Lord Shiva or somebody and elevate myself. But actually, pure devotional service is not that. Pure devotional service means that you're convinced that even though I may not be 100% free from material desires, I am convinced that this path that I'm on is the perfect, pure path, and I intend and I have no real aspiration for um, uh, trying to elevate myself in material ways for future enjoyment. And I also have no philosophical idea that maybe in the future, maybe I could, the goal of life maybe is I just merges with Krishna's effulgence. You cannot have those two. You do devotional service like Krishna wants, and you avoid these other two deviations. And that's the path. And of course, that's what Srila Prabhupada taught us. He always taught us just to simply engage in devotional service, uh, dedicate your whole life like that, and go back home, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada said you've talking to all of us, you've spent millions and millions and billions of lifetimes trying to enjoy the material nature, enjoying Maya, and still we're not happy. Still we're not enjoying. So he said, just put all that aside, and for one lifetime, just dedicate everything in Krishna's service. Dedicate everything to Lord Krishna's pure devotional service, and then you'll be fully satisfied, and then you'll go back home, back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada, he taught like that from the beginning. Anyway, these are a few points here. Any questions, comments? Anyone?
I think it's a good verse. Our conduct is so important because that's what others the Prabhupada to understand the philosophy. So actually service
Yes. Teach by example.
no matter how
That's right. If we're not showing by personal example the being ideal devotee, then of course it'll have no potency, no good potency anyway, and others will either not follow us or they will follow our bad example. So Srila Prabhupada always taught us to be acharya. Acharya has three qualifications. What are those three qualifications? To be an acharya. Yeah, that's included. First qualification of being an acharya is that you have to follow the previous acharyas, right? You have to follow the previous acharyas. You're doing what they taught to do. Second qualification is that you have to be preaching what they preach, and you're following, by your personal activities, you're preaching it. And the third qualification is well, you're hearing it from them, from the right source. You're speaking the right thing, and of course, you're acting according to what practice what you preach. Those are the three qualifications for an acharya, which of course is what Srila Prabhupada did. He took the perfect knowledge from the previous acharyas, which is ultimately Krishna's instruction also. He certainly preached Krishna consciousness purely to everyone, and he not just preached it, but he demonstrated it in his own personal life. Which is what, and we don't have to be a, Paramahansa devotee to be acting on that level, but we should try. So we say Srila Prabhupada is our we call it preeminent Shiksha Guru. Srila Prabhupada not, can't be, isn't, and won't be the Diksha Guru for everyone. That was only because Diksha is only given in when the Guru is present, physically present in the world. So Srila Prabhupada would not be the Diksha Guru for everyone, but he is a Shiksha Guru or a Shiksha Guru for everyone. Preeminent Shiksha Guru, which means that everything we know, everything we've learned about Krishna consciousness, ultimately it comes from Srila Prabhupada's teachings, from his books primarily, books, letters, lectures, and so on. So Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru for ISKCON. And all we have to do is try to follow those instructions. And if we can follow those instructions, act properly, then of course the same potency will be there in our own lives, and we will be able to share that and demonstrate that to others. And that way others will become Krishna conscious. Okay, I think we have to end for today. Tomorrow the class will be on puja. No. Okay, so end for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.